All right, thank you again. Now we are going to move on to the Salt Lake County Sheriff's race for the candidates for Salt Lake County Sheriff, ROSIE RIVERA and Nick Roberts. The league announces that due to the empty chair policy, they've opted for this modified format. Candidates have been provided the questions and asked to provide a response. In this case, ROSIE RIVERA has a videotaped statement as she is unable to attend. I will read the questions first, and then the candidates will respond. We will start with ROSIE RIVERA on this one, though, because of the videotaped response and the nature of the format here. These questions, again, submitted by Westside residents to the League of Women Voters of Salt Lake City and the Westside Coalition. The first question will be, Westside residents have some concerns that factions in law enforcement may be becoming politically extreme. Do you see this happening? And how can you be a part of constructive solutions to keep that in check? The second question is, how can the Salt Lake County Sheriff respond to concerns about racial injustice and equity in policing while also protecting the community? And the last question, please give a quote that reflects your beliefs, your values, or priorities, or in the alternative, someone who inspires you, or perhaps someone who inspired you to get into public service. We are going to start with the videotaped response from ROSIE RIVERA.
Hello, thank you for giving me the opportunity to answer your questions. The first question was, Westside residents have some concerns that factions in law enforcement may be becoming politically extreme. Do you see this happening? I do see this happening, not just in Salt Lake County, but across the country. The second question was, how can you be part of a constructive solution to keep that in check? The way that I can do that as sheriff is to ensure that when we are hiring law enforcement, we are looking for signs for individuals that show a pattern for extremism and not hire them. Do thorough background checks. Also have policies and procedures in place, guidelines, and consistently stay on top of it. That's how we can, keep this in check, to answer your question. The second question was, how can the county sheriff respond to concerns about racial injustice and inequity in policing while also protecting the community? Well, I'm already doing that. I've participated on multiple panels for the Council on Criminal Justice Reform. Also, just last week, I was in Washington, D.C., participating in the Police Executive Resource Forum. We were talking about gender bias. We just have to continue to, number one, understand it, admit that there is racial injustice and equity issues. I'm a woman in a male-dominated field, so I've been dealing with equity my entire career. So I do understand that, but we have to keep the conversation going, participate, listen to our communities, understand what our communities' needs are, and then train our law enforcement. There are many different types of training. We're already doing de-escalation trainings and bias trainings and understanding our communities, but we have to consistently keep looking for training for that. I know I only have 2.5 minutes, so I'm going to rush through this last one. It says that give a quote that reflects your beliefs, values, priorities, inspires you. Really, the one quote that I have focused on is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Her quote was, "Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that leads others to join you." And that really is what I have been doing all along. I'm trying to lead the way, but I'm doing it in a way that I get others to join me in leading the way for what is right. Being a police officer, we work for the people, and we have to ensure that all people are treated fair and equitable. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
We will pose these same questions to Nick Roberts, who is here with us. Westside residents have some concerns that factions in law enforcement may be becoming politically extreme. Do you see this happening? How can you be a part of constructive solutions to keep that in check?
First, I want to thank everybody for letting me be here to answer this question. Yes, we have seen fascism throughout the United States. There have been cases. There are things that we can do to prevent it by proper background checks, by policy, by good, trained supervisors who are going to be looking at these officers, working with the officers. Your first-line supervisors can see these issues, bring them out, and stand up and bring it to a problem and solve the problem. If we continue with education, if we continue with working with our people, working with the officers, showing them support, and getting with the public, we can turn this problem around. In Utah, we are lucky. We have good officers. We have officers that will stand up, do the training, and protect the public. We as administrators, sheriffs, attorneys need to make sure that this is happening and that we monitor it and we continue to back.
Thank you. Next question. How can the county sheriff respond to concerns about racial injustice and equity in policing while also protecting the community? 1 minute, please.
Okay, here we go. All right, thank you. One of the things that we can do to get better equality is understand that every individual has a racial bias. It could be you don't like a mustache, you don't like a beard, you don't like the color of my hair, you may not like a particular persuasion. We have to get by that. We need the training, we need the effort, and we need to bring these officers in and continue the training. Not just what is mandated by the state of Utah and the police academy. The state has put new restrictions on us. We need to take that further. We need to do better training. We need to get in with our groups, and we need to hire more minority individuals. I have several officers on my shift, and I thank every day for them. The Hispanic community, the Ecuadorian community, if we do not get these people, the women, into our profession, we will fall behind. I am going to do extra recruitment and bring these people in and show them that there is a career that you can defend the public and what we stand for.
Thank you. Last question. Could you please share a quote that reflects your beliefs, your values, your priorities, or in the alternative, someone who inspires you, maybe someone who inspires you to get into public service? This is a 15-second answer.
To be very quick, I'm Nick Roberts, I'm running for sheriff, and I'm going to use a quote from Robert Peel. The police are the public, and the public are the police. The police are being only members of the public who are paid to give full-time attention to the duties which are incumbent on every citizen in their interests in the community for welfare and existence. These are the things we stand up for.
Thank you very much. Please give our candidates a round of applause. Mr. Roberts will be available downstairs if you have any additional questions, something that you want to ask him that was not asked in the debate. Next up, our last debate. Thank you all for sitting here through this and getting to know your candidates. Make sure you're registered to vote downstairs. Salt Lake City School Board, seat 1, Bryce Williams and Jeremy Anderson after this brief break. Thank you.